On today's episode of Watch J Ergo, we are going to get wet and wild, and we're going to finish putting my Chevy Volt back together. Take it for a drive. What is going on, guys? I'm Watch J Ergo, and today, like I said, I'm back with my 2017 Chevy Volt that I bought from CarMax about 2 years ago. And it's had a really big problem since the day I bought it. I even mentioned it before, and I've never fixed it. And today, well, hopefully today, we're gonna fix it. I am insanely excited about this fix. I'm gonna show you what's wrong with it right now. Showing you what's wrong with it didn't work at all like I planned. It used to be when you'd hold the wiper sprayer, you would just get a huge puddle of washer fluid on the ground. And for some reason, we're not seeing that anymore. It doesn't even sound like the pump's running anymore. So that is really unfortunate. Let's dig into this thing and figure out why the washer sprayers don't work, because you always need your washer sprayer. It turns out you need them a lot more than you think. If it's not raining and your windshield's dirty, I mean, it can be a safety issue, and if you don't have the sprayer, the wipers just smear everything around. So it's not what you want. This thing really does need wiper sprayers that work. So today we're gonna try to fix that problem. But it may be a lot harder to fix than I was expecting. I thought this was gonna be something easy, a broken hose. In fact, I already made an O'Reilly's run to get everything we needed to fix the line. But now I'm thinking it's even worse. So I think we're gonna start by trying to take the headlight out. The washer fluid tank is right here, and you can see a little bit of it from the top. I think if the headlight's out, you can see a lot more of it. And right there, you can see the actual tank, and we need to figure out what's going on with the pump. Step one, can we see it? I sure can see the pump. And somehow the reservoir is full, and the sensor appears to be all good. Are there any broken wires, anything like that? So here's the pump. I know it's tough to see. You can see that beautiful green glow looking like it's from Fallout. Hope you guys have been watching that show because it's been amazing. But pump's right there. Wiring harness is right on top of that. And I'm going to try to disconnect everything, see if it's actually a locked up pump, or put a meter on the connector and see if the pump even tries to run when we push the button. If I can get it unhooked, that is. So I've got a little screwdriver here. Hopefully I can get it inside the connector. I know you guys can't see what I'm doing, but hey. Okay, she's unlocked. I really don't think the line's broken. Originally, I was just planning on fixing this plastic line, but it doesn't look like it's actually broken. Let's disconnect it and see if gravity pushes fluid out. Oh, fluid. Now I can't get it back on. I told you we were gonna get wet and wild. I'm covered. What if it's a bad pump? Sure can't go get that right now. Okay, the meter is sketchily hooked up to the connector that powers the pump. Let's turn the car on, run it, see what happens. No way. How on earth would the washer fluid pump have blown a fuse? I don't understand it, but obviously we just turned the car on. I replayed the video that you guys saw so I could see what the meter did, since it's just me here, and I never even saw a blip. Nothing at all from the washer fluid pump. So I was like, well, let's start at the fuse box. It's the easy place. And I pulled out the fuse that appears to be the fuse for it, which it's listed as WSW-FRT. Kind of tricky there, windshield washer front. WSW takes a minute to find. It should have just said wiper on there like it does for the wipers. So that maps over to F23, 10 amp fuse. There's a 10 amp fuse in there, and I pulled it out and it's clearly visibly blown. I don't know if you guys can see that. I don't know if you can see it in the light, but that fuse is blown. So let's swap it out. I'm sure I've got a million more good fuses here. I'm gonna grab one, throw it in, and then we're gonna test again and see what happens. Does it blow again? Is there a dead short somewhere? I don't know, but I don't like it. New fuse acquired, throwing it in here. F23 is that guy right there. Nothing blew yet. So let's test again. Just rewatched the video. That seems like bad news, doesn't it? I didn't see anything on the meter. I don't know if you guys saw anything on the meter. The fuse is not blown this time. I rechecked our connection on my test leads. Let's run it again. Woohoo, that's good news. You guys saw that negative 11.8 as I just did. Had to go watch the video again. Let's hook the pump back up and see if the pump is seized up or something like that. Maybe we could give it a couple little hammer taps and kind of bring it back to life. I don't know, could be seized up. You really just don't know till you hook the power up. Luckily, I've got quite a few 10 amp fuses, so we can keep blowing it if we need to. I just hooked the pump back up. We're gonna go try it in real life because I've got quite a bit of confidence. We'll see if it actually works. It did not blow the fuse, it looks great. Random thought, what if the hood has to be closed for it to spray? So we're gonna try. Nothing. I told you guys, wet and wild. I wasn't messing around. So we're draining the entire reservoir down right now, hopefully. Well, we're not gonna make it. I'm sure trying to capture all of this, but we're gonna run out of space here in a second. All right, I dumped it all into a much bigger bucket and we're still draining it down, but we're making some progress there. The interesting part though is not draining down the washer fluid. The interesting part is I pulled the pump out and white stuff is coming out of the bottom. So let's blow this out with some air backwards, hook it up to 12 volts out on the bench and see what happens. Maybe we can make this thing pump. Maybe it's trash, I don't know. I would be surprised if it actually failed because they just shouldn't fail. It's such a simple part. We're gonna start by blowing it out. Ooh! Look what came out of the pump. That's what just came out of the bottom of this pump. How? Bad news, pump's dead. I hooked it directly up to a car battery over and over and over. I sat there, you know, hitting it. Sometimes with these motors, if you hit them with some voltage over and over and over, you can get them to free up. But this one appears to be dead. I'm kind of wondering if I can turn that bottom piece. I'm gonna take a tiny screwdriver, see if that does anything, but it does seem like the pump needs to go in the trash. So we're gonna see if O'Reilly's has one, because that would solve all of our problems really quickly. But if not, we get one coming, and I guess I gotta put the whole car back together in the meantime. Well, this went from, I'll just go grab a couple different sizes of hose and clamps from O'Reilly's, 90099 and 47430. Which is a bunch of different sizes of hose and some tiny clamps, and patch a wiper line to, oh, the pump's completely locked up. But a new pump is on the way from AC Delco. It'll be here Tuesday, which is good. O'Reilly's didn't have it and it was special order. And I figured I should just call the dealer and get the OEM one for this because I don't want to be replacing it again. But let's see some carnage here. I know we all want to see what went wrong. All I can tell you is this motor's like 150 degrees from me trying to shock it back to life. There's no signs of it coming back to life. So what we're gonna do is bandsaw it open. And it looks like the pump is right where that little notch is on the bottom. So let's see if it sucked something up and seized, and then we'll cut the motor open. Here we go. Come on, bandsaw, do the band thing. All right, oh, maybe a pump seal failed or something? Take a look at that. Let's grab the actual pump. Whoo! I don't think that was gonna move, no matter what. I did try reaching in there with a screwdriver and making it spin, but yeah, this thing was fully seized. We must have cut right on where we needed to cut it. So let's grab a screwdriver here. Oh, stuff's just, dirt is falling out of it. Tons of trash is coming out of it. Looks a little better. Let's see if we can spin the pump. All right, well, I don't feel bad about not being able to save it now. For a minute there, I was like, I could have done it. I could have soaked it in solvent, but you can see it's totally full of rust and the impeller's locked up, and just no redeeming qualities. So this is the actual rubber pump seal, I think. If we can dig this out of here, we might get some more information on just what went wrong. This is how not to open something up. So yep, it looks like the rubber here is the seal. There's the actual impeller. And now the impeller moves, as you would expect. All right, well, that's what the pump's made of. It has a little stirring stick that kind of helps it suck fluid up into it too, and to the trash it goes. It was only $20 for a new one, so I'm not upset about it, but I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was just a broken washer line. That seized up pump obviously explains our blown fuse as well, so now we got a root cause out of this thing. I got the wheel back on, everything's ready to go back together, but first thing, we're gonna pull this outside and blow it out with the blower, try to get all the walnut remnants out of it, and then we're gonna put it back together because I don't wanna put all these covers back on until all the walnuts out of the cowl drains and behind the engine, everything like that. So we're just gonna pull it outside, but we're gonna do that tomorrow. If you need to walnut blast your car and you can use one of those adapters that the shop vac hooks up to, just use it because it'll save you all of this mess I'm dealing with right now. So I've got the leaf blower out here. Obviously, we got most of it off of the engine, but I got a lot more engine bay to clean up, so I'm gonna blow everything off real quick. All right, I do think it's a little bit funny blowing an engine bay out and seeing all of that come out from underneath it. But now the Volt's cleaned up and ready to go together. It agreed. Gabe's here. As you guys can see in the last bit of the time lapse, Gabe showed up, helped me clean up, put this thing back together. We got it all trimmed back out. It's crazy how much trim this car has to make all of this magic happen. So
much trim.
We can call this done if you want.
Okay.
It's the final countdown. Oh, so nice.
And it shuts off.
Right, it's, when the hood opens, it starts the engine for service mode. Isn't that crazy? It's also crazy, it has these things that seal the hood to the cowl.
I do like that actually.
They look really ugly when you're inside it.
But it makes sense now.
But it makes sense.
It makes sense.
It even makes the cowl drain over here. We're a little high on the windshield right there. I think it needs to work its way in. But it's all cleaned up. The Volt is better than it's ever been, and it's ready to get out of the shop until Tuesday when I get to slap that pump in. It'll take 2 seconds. I'm sure you guys, if you need to change it on yours, basically you just pull the connector off, pull the line off, tilt it forward, pull up. Those are the exact motions. It's just this up. So it's all together except for that piece of trim right there so that we can put that pump back. That is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop.watchjrgo.com for cool shirts not like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, and I will talk to you next time. All right, you ready to go to this Corvette show?
Let's do it.
You want to take the Volt?
I mean, it's Chevy.
Yeah, it's a Corvette roughly. See?
Yeah, that's
V and T. Vet.
It's more of a but
All right, we're gonna take the Camaros to the Corvette show. That's what we were gonna do anyway. So.
Also not a Camaro. Or wait, no, that is a Camaro.
It is that.
But it's not a. It's not.
Whatever.
Anyway, we're going.
Whatever we're doing, we're just
show.
not gonna take one of the Corvettes that's sitting out there.
Right.
Right.
Because that makes sense.
We wouldn't do that.
No.
Okay, let's get out of here.
The motions and then.
Vet.